what do your lifestyle choices say about your political preferences? Do you prefer Celine Dion or Mary May? Coffee or tea? What kind of hair do you have? Could that predict your voting habits? So one of the things team at Université Laval is looking at, Simon Coulombe is a professor at Université Laval in industrial relations and one of the creators behind this new app/website called Datagotchi. I told you about it yesterday on the show. Data, D-A-T-A, Gotchi, G-O-T-C-H-I, like Tamagotchi, right, Simon?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's based on this. Basically, Tamagotchi was the inspiration for the name of our application. So it's basically this idea that when you use the application, you can basically create your own avatar. And you build your avatar. You select what kind of music you like to play, you like to listen to, what kind of sports you like to play, what kind of coffee you buy. Do you go into one of these more well-known chains, or do you go into these kind of independent coffee shops, etc.? So you basically build your avatar, and at the end, we're basically trying to use machine learning and sophisticated analysis to help predict your voting intention.
So are you saying in a nutshell, Simon? Let's take the subject of coffee, right? And if you asked me, hey, Les, what do you think? And I would say, you know what? What do I think? A Tim Hortons guy, that's a conservative, and a McDonald's guy, that's a liberal. And if they're going to go to Starbucks, maybe that's NDP. And if they're going to go to the Green Party, that's the specialty coffee shop. Is that what you're trying to do here? Is that in a nutshell what's going on?
I mean, this is in a nutshell what's going on, but we're also looking more at the interaction and the whole pattern of lifestyle that people have. So, for example, maybe I go in a coffee shop, but I have a hybrid car and I don't eat meat, for example. So it might tell something different about me, right, than if I just go into independent coffee shop, but I have a SUV, for example. So we're looking at the pattern that's created by your own profile. And we collected data a couple of weeks ago, and we're building the current model and prediction based on the data that we collected. But every day our algorithm is getting better, because after we present to you the results from our prediction, you can tell us if we were right or not. And from that, our algorithm can improve itself, right?
Wow. So, Simon, tell me, how good is the algorithm right now?
I cannot tell you yet, but we're actually looking at the data. And I mean, it's all confidential. You don't have to give your name, and it's approved by a research ethics board. And we're not selling the data to political parties or anything. It's really research based, and it's also to sensitize people to the fact that the data that you leave online can actually be used by other people, and it can tell a lot about you. So we need to be careful.
Well,
we're doing this in a safe context in this research environment, but it would be different if people would use it without your knowledge, for example.
Well, I'm so happy you're bringing that up, because obviously that is a concern. We're with Simon Coulombe from Université Laval. We're talking about their new app/website, Datagotchi, looking into how lifestyle choices could say a lot about your political preferences. To that end, Simon, on the data, we've seen scandal after scandal in the UK, in the US, about the use of data people have on you to make that determination, whether it's Brexit, or the 2016-2020 elections in the U.S. So tell me about that. Tell me about how serious you take that, because people are going to give you a lot of personal details here.
Oh, we take this very seriously. I mean, it's approved by a research ethics board, and it's only going to be used by researchers for scientific publication, and you only have access to your own prediction, right? You don't know the prediction of other people when you go into the app. But it's definitely important for us to consider these things, but also to reassure people that what we're doing is only for research. We're not selling this to political parties or anything. It's for us to better understand what's the link between lifestyles and politics. Yeah, that's it. And I think it's important to also remember that you're not asked to give your name or anything. So it's also a little bit less sensitive that way. And in some way, we want to use this app as a way to sensitize people to the fact that, if they're able to predict my voting intention, maybe I should be careful in the future where I give my data, right, to political parties, or when I go online and I look at certain websites, maybe websites, not our app, but other websites could sell the data they have to political parties or to other organizations, right?
Well, Simon, let's end off on this question, because as I see what you're doing here, what went into my head is, geez, what would stop the Liberal Party, the Conservative, any party from doing this exact same type of thing on their own in order to hone in, right? So is that a concern that your research here will give other people that are much more nefarious the wrong idea?
That's an interesting question. I'm trained as a psychologist, as a researcher in psychology. So my colleagues are in political science. I'm more on the psychology side of things. But the reality, from what I understand from the work that my colleagues have been doing and the conversation I had with other experts, the reality is that political parties may already be doing this in some way, not exactly using such an app, but they may be targeting people in different venues based on what they think is the link between the venue and the political values of the people, etc., right?
Yes. Hey, Simon, it's in French only right now. Any plans to translate it to English?
I don't quote me on that, but it's supposed to be live towards the end of the week in English.
Amazing. Well, let me just tell you, I got a text message from a listener. I mentioned Datagotchi briefly on yesterday's program. Got a note here from a listener, Pat in Pancor, says, hey, I did the survey yesterday after you mentioned it, and it correctly selected my voting intention. Pat in Pancor says you nailed it.
Nice. Thanks for happy. I mean, there's also, just to add 1 second, is that we see this for users as a game, as something fun to do. It's something that you can do, and then you can chat with your friend about it, and it could go a little bit viral this way, right?
Yeah. Hey, Simon, I had fun on Datagotchi as well. I want to thank you for coming on the show. Very, very, very interesting stuff.
Thank you so much.
Simon Coulombe is a professor at Université Laval in industrial relations, one of the creators behind the app Datagotchi. Go check it out.